My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pigs. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist, and it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen. It will never happen. We cannot have a meltdown.
Well, good morning. Hope everybody's wrapped up out of their dogma stuggy for an hour. You know, I know it's early in California, Pacific genocide time. You know, so much to talk about. Good news, bad news, ugly. We're outside here at my house. I got my little assistant with me, my little grandson. But we've got a nest of robins, and they've just come out of the nest. And, you know, when the robins come out of their nest, and we have a nest of magpies here, and they've just come out of the nest. And, you know, when they come out of the nest, they can't really fly. They're just trying to learn to fly. They're very vulnerable. And so she's still feeding. You know, it looks like only maybe one of her babies, which is typical for robins. Magpies, though, they'll have freaking 6 or 7 of them. They come out of the nest, they'll fly around for a few hours, maybe one day, then they're gone. I mean, they learn that quickly. So the environment's under such hardcore attack. And, you know, look, the American populace don't care. This is the most self-doxed, grotesque, and I'm going to really concentrate on a lot of Europeans today. We're going to talk a lot to the Europeans and whatever. You know, they get it as far because simply they get away, and you can look in from the outside, you know, and they've traveled here, and they've seen Skid Row and what Skid Row in L.A. goes on and on and on and on. Of course, you know, we have the news of Diablo, which yesterday the Land Commission signed it. This is a very, very big deal. I remember the old activists that I was involved with my whole life used to always say, you'll remember where you were. You'll remember where you were the day that they, when they announced the shutting of San Onofre and, you know, the Diablo. It's a marquee day in American history. Really. Why? Because the jet stream moves left to right. If California goes, the U.S. will go. Too late? Yeah, well, Fukushima. But it's a major, major accomplishment. We've been battling them since the 80s, early 80s, you know, going at them. As everybody quit us, I never quit. Mothers for Earth never quit, and Mothers for Peace. You know, thank you to Friends of the Earth. Without them, this would have never happened. I cannot say enough for Friends of the Earth as far as their resources and the attorneys and the people, the few, you know, research attorneys and the people within that organization and the lawyers who battled at San Onofre and battled at Diablo. What a major accomplishment it is for these lying rats. You know, because that's what it takes. You have to pin these down because they're afraid of jail. The corrupt bastards. So where was I when it got announced? I was in Skid Row when I got the news. I was told briefly, not that they were closing, you know, by a Stanford educated attorney, which is pretty amazing because the Stanford educated attorneys are the people who did this. I mean, that's who created this madness and this insanity. You know, the Goldman Sachs freaking crew, the Russell Trust, Stanford Cal Berkeley, there's your enemy. You want to know who your enemy is? Your hardcore enemy from hell. Simply it's really the Russell Trust. Goes clear back to, no, he didn't. I'm looking. You're full of it. So they, that's who did this. You know, they hijacked California. You know, it was going on before. Let's get real. This is nothing, the European experiment called America. That's what this place is. You know, we fought back. We threw the Royals out. Remember Hamilton? The first 8 employees of the United States was the Coast Guard. People, you know, people could pull back on me all they want. I don't care. You got to realize the day that I got cancer, I was standing right here where I'm at doing this radio show in my yard. I was headed to New York to speak at Zuccotti. I mean, you don't think my whole world changed? My path in life, you don't think it changed? I mean, I was the activist. I was, you know, hardcore then, you know, social inequality, the usury you know, people say, well, you know, you can buy stuff at the dollar store or Walmart or any other place, it's all the same. No, it ain't. Just don't stop consuming. You know, I buy all my stuff used, everything. You know, always have, even when I had money. You know, I go to the thrift stores. I go to the retro stores. You know, I go to yard sales. I mean, that's where all the good stuff's anyway. And you don't need new socks, new pants, new shirts, new freaking clothes, all you women. You don't need them, everything. Buy them, throw them away. It's obscene. It's beyond grotesque obscene. Stop consuming. You know, I've never been a massive consumption person. I mean, you know, I consume, but I consume stuff that's already been made, which we got enough stuff in this world to consume for hundreds and hundreds of years. We're destroying this earth. I mean, on Balco. So news out. Yes, you know, I didn't find out. It's been out for a couple of days. National Geographic, of all people, has done a piece on the soft shells, the clams. Now, if this isn't the most alarming thing you've ever heard, besides Fukushima, especially as an environmentalist, especially as a human rights activist, especially as anybody who gives a shit about anything, they're saying now that the reports of a leukemia, a strand of leukemia, yes, right, you heard me, leukemia in the clams that is passable, that is contagious leukemia from clam to clam. It is showing up. They just, their first test on the so-called West Coast in Vancouver. Yeah, this is National Geographic. I mean, if this doesn't alarm you to the millionth power of life, look, there's very few things alive anyway, and what is alive is mutated. Is, you know, looking at them tide pools the whole way, the only thing I've seen is some teeny small black clams and some teeny black mussels. The ones that I do see are less than an inch tall. Come on, the black mussels at Laguna Beach are, you know, they're 6, 7 inches tall, 8 inches tall, by the hundreds of millions. You know, they're wiped out. And this is just not my work. You know, say, says, oh, my videos at Sean's called. There's other independent people that are completely abstract from me, don't even know me, who shot videos and posted them online. I mean, that old gentleman that posted, those are powerful stuff. Then hippie with a gun, you know, that activist in Oregon, he's fantastic. He went over and shot the ones in Oregon. I mean, hello, let me tell you something, and this is what kills me the most about my travels. I travel all over, and the heat's getting on. And what do people, they justify? I mean, because this is a baby boomer, lazy, you know, just consumption. I mean, they think the zenith of life is comfortability. Well, I don't even know what they think it is. Getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, going to some bullshit dead-end job in a circle, home to their, you know, they're already in FEMA camp. They're paying a mortgage on their FEMA camp. Stressed out fucking wrecks to watch TV. I mean, it's pathetic. The place that has been hammered the hardest by Fukushima over and over every day, there's no doubt, there's absolutely no, ecologically, is Oregon. Oregon has been bombarded all day, every day. Now, the Deschutes, Tim, my whistleblower up there, is telling me the Deschutes, there's no trout in the Deschutes. His trip trace is completely white. He says, I'm up there, there's no insects. So, just bombarded. So, we're going to go to the Bonneville numbers. Now, on the Bonneville, this is a marquee gig because, look, that's the big boy on the Salmon Run. You know, we can look at any of you. We can compare and contrast any of them. So, salmon go to sea for 5 years. I said, 5 years, get ready, get ready, get ready. So, I've been watching that Bonneville number like a hawk. Okay? So the Bonneville number for the year, not the season, for the year is at 200,000. Should be well over 1 million at this point, or approaching 1 million. You know, the season, you know, it's coming to a wind. You know, the big June hogs, they call them. You know, that gig's over. So these numbers are going to come in. This is a catastrophe. And I got plenty of whistleblowers all over. When the natives and the, you know, the Environmental Act, the Endangered Species Act 1971, part of that bill, you know, that's the problem with all these bills. You have a bill that says one thing, and these guys shove all kinds of other bullshit into it. So you don't even know what the bill is. Okay, let's go over here then. So, all right. So, under that act, the natives own half. I mean, yeah, well own, I guess. I mean, when you kill an animal and eat it, I guess you pretty well own it, huh? So they own half of all the salmon, irregardless. They don't need licenses or whatever. So they have their independent numbers, their tracking numbers. When they know what the numbers are, they forecast their people what the number is going to be, and for you, they, you know, close it because it closes May 1st. And so under the act, they've traditionally just made an agreement with the natives. You know, and so the native, you know, and they've always been able to dance, whatever, in the state of Washington. And by the way, second hardest organ is the state of Washington. You know, so go to a Seahawks game. So apathetic, so ignorant, just watching real estate, whatever. It's devastated, the place. Cancer, I remember in the early days, there was a young woman in college, female. She was on the internet, whatever. This was right after I got cancer. She got cancer. First off, she started to talk about she'd never seen at the University of Washington, which that's where my doctors came from. Fred Davis, the bone marrow guy, that's where he was at. You know, this evolution, you know, through that place. She says, I've never seen anything like it. This cancer that is hitting us in 2012 in Washington, in Seattle area, that's got a bad tire. Leave it. Is harder. I never seen breast cancer so aggressive and kill people so fast. Never, she said. Then she got it. And she died. You know, it should have been a major wake-up story. Should have been, but no, it's all feel-good stories. Oh, come to Huntsman Chemical. Come to Huntsman Chemical. Huntsman Chemical. Huntsman Chemical. One's going to murder you. You know, go to Scripps. You know, the luxury good of death. Just lay down and take it. It's okay. Don't fight back. God forbid, don't fight back. You know, just lay down and die. It's amazing to me. My daughter says it, you know, because everybody else, I mean, so many of these people, they don't fight. They're taught in their posture from birth just to be quiet and comfortable. And yeah, oh, God will take God's will. You know, I always go back to, you know where I go. I go to Steinbeck and I go back to East of Eden. You know, you don't even read the whole book. I mean, everybody's so lazy. Just read the last few pages. You know, Lee, the philosopher, Chimshil. That's a Hebrew word. He throws it right back in their face. You want to talk this God's will Bible stuff? Here's the freaking Old Testament Hebrew word. That means God helps those who help themselves. Hello? You know, so now you got all these YouTube bloggers and everything. This is the dichotomy of the United States. As soon as you're watching a YouTube video, you're watching, you know, the most powerful media source in the history of mankind, YouTube, or a blog or whatever. As soon as they go to spinning into their fake pseudo-de-facto Christianity, you're done. You better move on. Be Per Earthwatch does it. Freaking Diablo 77 does it. Lisa Havens does it because they know they got AdSense accounts. They know it makes money. That's why they do it. More power to them. You know, I don't blame them. You know, it's a tough gig in this freaking thing. They're going to do all this dirt where they should make money. This is hard work, and all those guys put a tremendous amount of time into their work. But they've got to spin it there because that's the only way they get their viewership. And their viewership, they're counting on an AdSense account. Well, Google just fucks everybody. You know, they baited everybody in with these fucking AdSense accounts, not me. And then they just slowly bleed it down. I know people, you know, who made my map. Dana made my map in California, the great California mapper. She had an AdSense account that was making well over $100,000 a year for several years. Yeah, incredible work she does. She's the California geography expert. I can't get on my shows while I'm doing this. When I get done, we'll do it. So, he says. So, he's 5. A little Fukushima, pair of 11s, I call him. So, she's making well over $100,000. You know, and her volume's up from when that was, you know, 6, 7, 8 years ago. They bankrupted her You know, you get baited in, or they buy a house. Now, they've cut it 95%. That's what these monsters do. I mean, it's a setup. It's a setup. You know, it's manufactured. It's like L.A. The gang violence was manufactured. The homeless situation is manufactured. I mean, it's a setup. You're set up to fail. It's real simple. This social engineering, it's easy. You know, these freaking madmen. And then they social engineer into you defending, you're for the very policies that freaking slaughter you. I mean, all these people. I mean, I tried to argue terrorists for years. Free market fairy tales. I mean, oh my God, why they're taking your job? You know, these people deserve all this. You know, I'm like, what? You know, the whole dynamic. Fox News just puts it out on a freaking speaking point. I mean, what a huge success that's been. The biggest success I've seen in my lifetime by the globalists is Fox News. Fox News was created out of the House of Windsor by the globalists. It was created, 100% created. Okay, it was created to repress the great American experiment by Europeans in freaking Brits, which aren't Brits, you know, the royal family, the House of Oxford, the House of Windsor, the House of Hanford. That's where the whole thing was invented. Rupert Murdoch, you know, it's even bigger than that. You know, his, you know, wife that had the Chinese baby having the affair with who? Tony Blair? Oh, give me that. All right, keep it. So don't lose it. So totally manufactured. The whole globalist regime, they put up, so they find people like rats, like, now, Sean Hannity, now I really want all you people out there to, why is he not arrested? The whole dig down in Bundyville when they shut up the freeway and all these people have been arrested was a total setup by Fox News. They set them up. They got Lavoie murdered, killed. It was a setup. It was a setup by Fox News. Fox News just pounded that. Sean Hannity was there, his crew. He's got crews on the ground, on the freeway, shutting down a freeway. So the feds are arresting people. How come they don't arrest his crew? How come they don't go after me? Total setup. Fox News completely set those people up. 100%. They're the people that are responsible for all that. They're responsible for his death. They're responsible for all of that. I know a lot of those people. They were set up. Yo, Fox News got them all geeked up. You're doing the right thing, fired up. You know, YouTube laws, whatever, fired up, just kept fed. You know, and I'm like, don't do it. I know people right here that said they were going to. I said, don't do it. Don't go down and shut off that interstate. It's a setup. Those are, I mean, you know what kind of penalties you're under if you shut down a freaking interstate? Do you understand what these people will do to you? What you created, your very law, they're going to hang you with your own law. So they set them up. They put out the narrative. They put out the narrative on the news, and then now CNN's all in on it too. They're all in on it. CBS. I mean, think about it. CBS fires Dan Rather, the greatest reporter of our time, broke the back of the military-industrial complex in the '60s. Now think about it. He's the guy that went in the field, and Cronkite put it up and showed the reality that was going on. So he says George Bush is a liar. He's a daft dodger for telling the truth. So they fired him for telling the truth. So to tell the truth, not only you get fired, your life is in danger. Michael Hastings, Aaron Swartz, you know, Megan Rice. I tell everybody, oh, you don't think that activists are afraid? And rightfully so. Let me tell you what I do is so dangerous. I mean, these guys are all over me, you know, but, I mean, I'm not afraid. I do it legally, and I'm a nonviolent. I don't believe in violence. You know, all that's going to do is bait them or give them a reason to kill you, and they will do it. You know, so, look, it's simple. I tell people, look, Megan Rice made a statement, a peace act for Greg and Michael. They made a freaking statement going that they are not guarding these things. They're in violation of freaking thing. You know, they're building more nuclear bombs. They're plutonium. The whole military-industrialized complex is fear. You know, they're guarding all this. You're throwing this money. They're just stealing from you. They're just robbing you. She made her statement. You know, boldly, absolutely. Just blocks in, but everybody knows her past. She's a nun. That's why she was the one chose to do it. You know, by the whole group. 85-year-old with a reputation and a name. Madeline Rice's daughter, Dr. Rice. So, you know, New York City, they were seeking publicity on this thing, which everyone thought because, come on, the New York Times, she's Miss New York City. She's connected big time all over New York City. She's, you know, by the way, so is Bill O'Reilly. Why then? Bill O'Reilly, because same people as Megan Rice comes out, Bill O'Reilly, and they'll tell you right up, you know, his statement that this is all an act. I know people that know him say, 100% a total act. And he admits it freely. It's a 100% act. I mean, how sick are these actors? How sick are these Fox News freaking talking head actors? Megyn Kelly, I mean, she deserves 3 Academy Awards. It's very effective. I mean, these are total actors because, you know, the actors aren't in Hollywood anymore. They're in New York City, you know, right there at Rock Center. And they find these actors and, you know, they're good at this social engineer. I mean, this is the greatest success to crushing this place, the military, and just annihilating this place, you know, ever. I call it Operation Foxconn, not to be read for Foxconn, where they jump out of the buildings in China. I mean, that somehow sending your jobs to China, getting rid of Hamilton's protectionism, you know, of all the people that stood up to the royals, in fact, all the way down to taking an assassinated United States president who said, "I am the great tariff president," standing on the great tariff platform. This is FDR's words. The greatest anti-monarchy royal president since George Washington. McKinley, an act of Congress, an assassinated United States president, named a mountain up with an executive order, this globalist rat, following his orders. It's simple. You talk to the globalist warriors, the social engineers and these globalist rats that run the show in London and in England, where it's run from. They'll say, "What a good soldier. He is a good soldier." And I'm sure they told him that when he was visiting the Queen, when, the day the prince died, and, you know, your new repressor. It's no coincidence that baby's named George, and they're not Brits. So what a great soldier. Executive order taking McKinley up. Why don't you change Lincoln, Nebraska next? You know, it's amazing these people will wrap up, you know, 4th of July, born on the 4th of July, and they're driving up their pickups with flags on it, Confederate flag, American flag, and then they'll get all geeked up about the Confederate flag. That needs to go whatever. I mean, what? What are you talking about? You know, rewriting some kind of history? What's wrong with flying the Confederate flag? You know, it's an old historic freaking thing because it's all fear baiting, race baiting. You know, they bait, divide and conquer. Oh boy, they don't even have to divide and conquer. You guys go along. The consumption, everybody goes along. They consume. Watch, I mean, they're heroes. You know, you'll be at the airports, people still standing up and cheering and clapping for the military mass murdering complex. Cheer. I mean, you want to go up to them and say, "Well, did you do this intentionally?" If they did this intentionally, they're criminals. But, you know, most of them are victims. They got sucked in by Operation Foxconn. They got sucked in that they're patriots. Well, they need a job. I mean, again, manufactured a setup. You know, what are you going to do? You go join up. They need a job. Oh, that's your bow and arrow. So it's not a fact, it's a setup, but you go on because, look, Mae Brussels, you know, she was the great counterculturist. You can watch them online from Carmel. She was amazing. 1980. November 1980. It's all over, kids. It's all over, kids. The Bush CIA has occupied the White House. Look, who is Prescott Bush's father and grandfather? Do you know? Russell, come on. It's simple. Who started Skull and Bones? You know, they're royals in England. They floated up the Potomac in 1812 and burnt down. It's this experiment, this control. You think it's a coincidence that we're consuming 40% of the world's GDP when we make up 3%? This experiment, the military, so they created this military colony here in the United States where these people pay for their own war machine. These globalists and these royals, I mean, the old monarchies, then they pay guys like Michael Savage. I mean, you think about how the gaslighting, how easy it is. They go to these guys, you know, the CIA, quietly, or whoever, they pay them in cash, and they say, okay, here's it is. It's just black is white, up is down. Here's what I want you to do. And these dumb American goats will go for it. Stop that now. So they'll go for it. So real easy. Call it New World Order. George Bush Sr. himself, call it new. Okay, come on. So, hello. I mean, how obvious. It's like Barack Obama's black. Please, be good, young man. Where's he at? So, I mean, it's amazing. Call it new. when it's a monarch. It's I mean, get them off their sense of history. You know, Prince got it. Remember Prince's great invoices? I like how they call George Washington the first president. Well, George Washington was the 8th president, which is the fact. The first president was Hanson. Yes, you know, they needed a war, but come on, they were all anti-royals, including Hanson. George Washington hated the royal family, hated them. Now, you know, again, the whole bastard child thing. Those children, I mean, isn't it amazing, even clear back then? George Washington's kids are not his kids. They're her kids. Now, what? The granddaughter was married to who? Lee? Yeah. I mean, this whole dance they do with bastarding, I mean, they did it clear back to Da Vinci. They did it with, I mean, bastard child. The bastarding's really easy. Hide bloodlines. What? Bill Clinton? They've been doing it since the beginning of man. You know? Who? Barack Obama? Yeah. I mean, to hide identity, they find them. You know, these people, number one, they need to be tall. And number two, they like abused backgrounds. 3, connected through the mother's blood. Well, if one of them's bloodlines, hide the name. You think Bill Clinton is just some hillbilly freaking, this freaking homeless woman, please, homeless woman. I love it. She worked at the University of Chicago. You know, who was the governor of freaking Arkansas? Winthrop. Winthrop who? Who? Oh, Rockefeller. Who started the University of Chicago? Who invented the nuclear thesis? University of Chicago? You know what? Russell's baby. Who took the agricultural college? It's called the Russell Trust. Still owns the land at Cal Berkeley. Cal Berkeley, look up their charter. Just Google it. Look it up. University of Cal Berkeley, their charter. The charter of Cal Berkeley was taken over by the Russell Trust, the agricultural college in California. For what? The nuclear lab at Los Alamos. Livermore, which renamed Lawrence the schizophrenic freak, and mentally ill mass murder. Cal Berkeley. That's what it is. It's to build. Is it eugenics? Absolutely, it's eugenics. They've always had this plan. I mean, look up, just Google John Holdren. I just want you to, okay, John Holdren, head of the Obama Science and Technology team. Just Google it. Before Fukushima, he's had the keys to, there's, how long? Look, so now it comes out 5,300 water districts, including right here, not where I live, but around here, have been over the limits, and the EPA refuses to do anything. Why is Gina McCarthy not in jail? So these people have these jobs, they don't have to, where they take oaths, they sign contracts. She's head of the EPA. Oh, yeah, that's her who crashed Radnet. Oh, my God. This is the greatest event. This is the greatest epic times in human history right now, right here in the United States. The death of the Pacific Ocean, which it blows my mind still. How you got 45 million people in their shiny coffins, and you go to L.A., you don't think it'd get worse as far as the driver complex in the car? Oh, it gets worse. It constantly gets. I didn't think 40 years ago it'd get worse. You know, I remember when activists, when I was young, were still fighting against cars. You know, that was and they were right. They said cars will destroy this freaking land in this country. The animals have no chance. They were right. Is this inevitable? No, it's not inevitable, but it's going to run its course and it's capitulate. But Fukushima changed everything because now, I mean, my God, just poison the ecology, poison the food. So, look, there's no reason that everybody shouldn't be living to be 100 years old easily, bypass surgery, the organic food chain that's available, all the science and technology that survive that could be used, heart transplants. Okay. And so all this complex, but look, people aren't living longer. Well, number one, look at it, but even healthy people are not. They're living less. They've poisoned the environment. They've totally poisoned the environment. So why else would they not have sent in? And okay, Fukushima. 32 ships were sent into Fukushima to entomb it. 32 ships. 32. Okay, I know what happened in the Situation Room. Everybody, you've been denying my work, whatever. It's just like when I walk up in the hearings. So, I mean, as soon as I walk out of this, everybody knows who I am. I mean, my presence on YouTube, whatever, I knew what I was up to when I put that whole baby together as a communications guy. I knew it was about retention. I knew I had to hold retention. You know, I'm the artist. I mean, improv and just go like I go, you got to hold them. I knew that, and I've done it. I've known it has nothing to do with view count, zero, because they're going to sequester view counts anyway, which now Hillary's emails. And okay, so you think about the shiny ball stuff they use. This is so easy. Goobles. This was written, I mean, this has been done over and over and over in Americana. Freedom fries, yay, born on the 4th of July, wrap myself up in a flag. I mean, my God. Look, the military-industrialized complex is your enemy. That beast is the freaking tool that allows this to go on. And why do you think they flag wave? The Super Bowl is the Pentagon Bowl now. I mean, NBA, they've infiltrated everything. Stand up and put your hands over your heart for the Pledge of Allegiance now. It used to be just, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, people said, what are you talking about? My uncles and parents, my uncle stood on D-Day, on Omaha Beach on D-Day. So don't you dare stand up, put your hat in school. That's ridiculous. That's flag waving, nation building BS. You know, so now it's moved. Stand up. We'd like to honor our heroes, firefighters, law enforcement. They changed the word to law enforcement from police. Well, everybody's a hero and everybody's bow. This is all Orwellian repression. So then they freaking feed you they totally feed you the gaslighting. It's so easy. I mean, they did it on Iraq and Afghanistan, and they prey on the ignorance of the American populace. They're geographically free. You take out a map and try to show them, separate, Iraq from Jordan, from Saudi. Forget it. Get them all. They did the same thing in the Asian thesis. After Japan, the hatred for the Japanese, they're like, really, you remember the slang term they used for them? So let's just move into the global. Let's move into Korea now, the same thing. We hate freaking Asians. Oh, let's freaking go into Vietnam. We hate them. Let's draft people. And it worked. That racism of the Asian against the Asian, which was all manufactured, now they did it to the Middle Eastern. I mean, it's outrageous. And it's just like the slave complex now. Look what they do to the brown people. It's like everybody says, how come most of the situation of Skid Row is African-American? Manufactured. And most of them aren't even from California, by the way. There's programs there. They're flocking in from all over the country. Is this homeless, when you have a 0% interest rate, and where's all the brown, because the brown people are sleeping in the woods. I mean, I like to get up very, very early in California, whatever, because I can walk on the streets while I'm hiding in the bush. The only people that are up, and that's when the only time you can hear the birds and the animals, because everybody's still in bed and the traffic hasn't gone insane yet, is the Mexicans. They're headed to work, so I can talk to them. They're all working. They're your maids, they're food cookers, they're your construction. I mean, just total exploitation. People, and people just go along with it. Good for us, huh? I was arguing with a woman down there about organ transplants. I says, do you realize the atrocities that go on? So, do you realize how many women they execute a day in China just for anything? Getting caught with a marijuana seed. This is a woman who smokes marijuana. And I says, for organ transplants here in the United States, well, I heard they're going here. I know they're going right here to Los Angeles. They're flying to Los Angeles, the number one transplant place. So they fly them into, I'm like, good for us, she says, huh? Oh my God, this is the mentality. How do you deal with a mentality like that? Good for us. Oh my God, people don't give a shit. This place is so fucking immoral, so disconnected, but they're killing themselves. It's like in Oregon when I'm up there. Even when I'm in the Central Coast, oh no, this can't be Fukushima. Oh no, it's okay. It's not in the air. It's not in the water. It's not in the sea. It's not in the clams. It's not in the tide. The starfish just went away. Oh, it's just wasted. They're all dead. We did that painting yesterday, and I put that purple towel. All right. And so they're in denial. And then it's all just God's will. You're not going to heaven. I got news for you. All you apathetic freak sheep, read your own thesis. Read your own. I don't care if you're Hindu. I don't care if you're Jew. I don't care if you're Buddhist. I don't care if you're, I love all the fake Buddhism that goes along in the United States. Oh, I'm Buddhist. I like all the fake, well, come out and walk with us. I walked from freaking twice with the monk all the way. Come walk with us. No, people live right there. Oh, but I'm Buddhist. But no, God, that takes work. It's not Buddhist. Where's the walking meditation? Where's the hard work? Where's the logic? No. Okay, then the Christianity. They create this fake Christianity that it's God's will I'm going to heaven. Oh, no, you read your own books. You know, God help those who help themselves. You know, he was the foot washer. That poor freaking radical, he was brown. He was Jewish. Brown Jew who threw the money changers out of the temple. He was radical. You know, anti-usury. I mean, now here in Christianity world, these people in hairspray own buy here, pay here's, car lots. I mean, just use everybody and anything for profit for any 5 cents. What are the foot washers? What are the giving of yourself 100%? I mean, really give, not just propaganda grandstand. You know, it's like, you know, I travel and I do all. It amazes me how, you know, I'm the bad guy. You know, I do all the work. I mean, you think what I've accomplished today, and people are like, it's like a guy calls me up today, babbling his head off. Everybody tries to shirt tell me. Anytime I get in vogue or anytime there's something, they just call me. And he says, well, I got 60,000 over. And I said, well, why don't you send me 3,000 or 4,000? Oh, man, you do all the work. You're the tip of the spear. He's telling me, I want to come, you know, get this, do this, and hang around with you, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you got 60,000, huh? What is it you're going to do? You know, I live in Florida. I said, well, why don't you tackle Turkey Point? You know, hey, why don't you send me a few $1,000s? Oh, no, coattail riders. You know, they bait me. You know, they call me, hey, can you come to Oregon? Can you come up to Oregon and do this thing when I'm in critical condition? Which I shouldn't do. Yeah, I'll do it because people ask me. And then I go up, stick me in the dumpiest hotel. Oh, we got you in a hotel. Put me in the dumpiest, sorriest hotels on plane flights that are the cheapest they can find. Boop, boop, boop. But when they fly first class. But no, Kevin's just the freaking, but that's all right because, you know, I'm willing to do the foot washing. You know, look, it all changed. I could go right back to a Wall Street so-called job or whatever, go back to my hawk and try, you know. I could do any of these things right now. I mean, I'm a very accomplished person. I'm a hard worker. Cancer changed everything. You know, I'm going to do the work. I made deals with myself in that bone marrow transplant center. I made promises. You know, nobody thought I'd fit. I had a type of cancer that, come here, I want to show you something. That there's another little nest must have blew out. The wind blew hard. You want to see a cool little nest? Look at that little nest. Must have blew out of the tree. Don't ruin it. Leave it. We'll save it. You take it home. And so I do the work. You know, I think of this path that I've done in 5 years. It's like the whole setup in freaking, you know, which this is all Edelman's going after me. He's got deep pockets, you know, and they use their presence online to attack me, do whatever. So, I mean, so ridiculous, so stupid, so ineffective. So, but, you know, people will do anything for money, anything in this country. People will do it because they've bought in. They don't understand. They've bought into the usury. You know, I got me a career. You know, I've gone to school and buried myself in debt. Why? You know, I'm all for going to college. Do not get me wrong, because just the accomplishment, and you are going to learn things. And, you know, the thing, and, I mean, to get a college degree is a major accomplishment. Private colleges, online, worthless. And people are doing it for, I mean, so many people are doing it for all the wrong reasons. And they're trapping themselves because they don't have a job and they don't want to, you know, or there are no jobs. You know, go serve coffee. So they're living off the student loans. They're living, and they're coming out with 100, 200, 300. They're done. And you think they're going to forgive this? I'm telling you, they're not. I mean, we know who runs this country, which, I mean, they're not going to forgive you. They're not putting pencil through this beast. You know what the student debt is? You know, so it's just all usury, more debt, more debt, more debt, more debt, more debt. When it's a simple cure, it's always been a simple cure, real simple. Tariff. No, serious. That's all it's ever been. You know, the globalization. You know, you're really going to compete with freaking, and then, you know, here Obama claims, I mean, my God, that guy got it. We were the anti-war guys. I mean, we were so sick of the war complex, he voted against Spence war, which it was a setup. Again, a total setup. That was a total setup. So we weren't going to vote for any of this war machine, which the Republican Party turned into the mass murdering, slaughter, you know, globalist war machine. If you don't believe me, they're globalist. Look at the TPP. They all voted for it. Senator and Congress, they all vote for anything they ask because they sit around and watch Fox News. They put up the narrative, and Fox News freaking kidnapped the freaking Republican Party. Now the left, oh my God, they just do it a little more freaking subtly. Barack Obama, he'll give speeches about the environment when this guy hates the environment more than anybody. But look, passive aggressive are the most dangerous people on earth. That's who the Democrat Party has turned in. Passive aggressive, fake freaking liberals, polluting, mass murder. I mean, these people are responsible for just slaughtering They're going to get caught up about Keystone? Really? While Fukushima's shiny ball. So what do? I give example after example. New World Order when it's old. Hey, here, let's put it out. Put all these rats out. Call it New World Order, New World Order. So to take your mind off history, the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, all these things, and when America stood up, we were protectionists, take their minds off that this is nothing but a pure monarchy, everything we fought against. That's all it is. It's old as Babylon and evil self. Hillary Clinton's emails. Oh, I love that one. I screamed and screamed and screamed because I knew they're all the cover-up of Fukushima. She goes to Japan. Kissinger, the whole thing. I'm like, who do you think put out the Benghazi email thing? Hillary Clinton. They put it out. Okay, the birther thing with Obama, to get your mind off, he's a globalist, mass murdering white boy from Kansas. Get your mind off. He's not no connections to the African American. His father is his blood. His mother, World Bank. His grandmother, freaking them whiteys from Kansas. All CIA world. Get your mind off that reality. So who do you think put out the birther freaking thing? Barack Obama. It's real simple. Obama did it over and over and over and over, just, his globalist ratness. I mean, that guy is the greatest globalist ever. Who would ever believed it? That's a good soldier there who was responsible for joining the Pacific. And everybody says, how is Obama responsible? Obama's responsible for the cover-up. I know for a fact. For instance, the USS Navy versus GE and TEPCO. I'm the only activist there in 2013, the only one. I mean, the only journalist, the only activist, it's just me. That's it. I'm the only one there, by myself, full of cancer, staying at a dumpy-ass hotel, taking the bus over there every day, reporting from there on this show. I was calling in, Jules would put me on once in a while, whatever platform I could find, coast to coast, or different platforms used to call me once in a while. Nobody give me the time of day. And so I'm there. She ruled in August 25th, that hearing was, of 2014. This goes forward. We're 2 years later. Nothing. The wheels of it, they've got it captured. So she rules it goes forward. It doesn't go forward because they've got it captured. The courts they've got it captured. But it's the American populace. They don't get. I tell people, what about the right? Oh, yeah. They know. You're standing right there. Do you see them? Oh, we love the troops. I said, no, you don't. Go put another yellow ribbon on your car. Anybody that's supporting this military industrialized war machine, now look, people that work for it, I'm all for the Air Force and, the jets and everything. We got to have that. And of course. But this whole boots on the ground, Army, freaking Navy, freaking Marines pop up, standing up and cheering, thank you, going up to reservists who just did it for a job that have never done anything. Thank you. Yeah, calling them heroes. Okay. So, they're not heroes. They're victims. They ain't no police heroes. Police ain't no heroes. They get a paycheck. How do you call them heroes? Firemen, that's what I tell my buddy. They laugh. They don't work. Firemen just make more and more money. I have lots of friends that are New York City firemen. My daughter was engaged to one for a long. I know tons of them. They're like, how you heroes doing today? You heroes, can I kiss your feet? Freaking, they laugh their ass off. But you've been hypnotized. You stand up at a game or whatever, you put your hand and they fly jets over, you flag wave, yeehaw, born on the 4th of July. But this country was never that. There weren't enough a bunch of flag-waving freaking nation buildings. You're incorporated. These people that do that, they just air their ignorance. You go to the airport, thank you, these made-up alley. So you see these women in their 50s or, 60s, and they're dressed like they're 20-something-year-olds, and they look terrible, by the way. Thank you. Guys, I got these guys. None of them ever bled. These people that go up and say thank you and shake, none of them ever bled. None of their family members ever bled. But they're all, thank you. For what? I tell you, what are you thanking them for? I was on the plane flying to San Diego, and everybody's standing up cheering this young kid. He's got his Book of Mormon out reading. I said, you realize what a... Okay. Plagiaristic scam that book is? You're still buying into that? What? He's all gung-ho, this and that. We're talking. You got any clue what they're going to throw you into? They don't got no clue. They bought in. They're church leaders who never bled. None of them went. These Mormon bishops are like, Fox News talking heads, none of them. Google. I want you to just Google Republican war heroes. Just Google it. This kid's out of control this morning. Turn that off. So, I don't know where he finds this stuff. So, they shut the door. No, I'm going outside.
No, I'm not going to shut the door.
Well, leave it open. So, that's all it is. They wrap you up to 7 fun. These Fox News talking, none of them ever bled. My favorite's that piece of shit Nugent. He's dumb. This guy's a mentally ill nutcase. So, okay, this wacko mentally ill nutcase, he's just geeked up. He's hardcore mentally ill. If I'd have went out and killed a lot of people when he drafted that, he's a draft dodger. Well, you know what? How he drafted Dodge? He said he couldn't control his bowels. He used to say he'd get scared when somebody walks up and says boo to him, and he was pissed himself, shit himself. No, when I'm done with this, now hang on. So, that's who you're up against. These people are insane, dogmatic fools. It's so over the top and it's so crazy who these people are and what they do. Yeah. And so people just buy into it and just go. It's indoctrination. It's Orwellian. It's beyond Orwellian. The playbook was what Google's. Here's Obama on the stage at Stanford with Zuckerberg again. Look up Zuckerberg. So you think his real last name's Zuckerberg? Come on. Him and Sheila. Look to the royals. Look who they are. Look who these people are. That whole thing. And people say, I'm not going to use Facebook. No shit. So do you use a phone? Do you use a computer? Do you use any of it? The whole thing's a setup. It's like me. I'm like, oh, people, please. They're watching you anyway. I tell people, the NSA just called me and told me you need to vacuum and put some clothes on. The surveillance state is over the top. The technology they have, they can look at you in your house anytime they want. So you're going to hide? No, you're not. No, you're not. Oh, you're just striping yourself while using Facebook's a good storage shit. It's a way for activists to communicate. They're watching. What ain't they watching? Please. I live abstract. No, you don't. No, you don't. Their biometrics are just a shadow of your shape of your body, your eye. They got you. So to think you're helping, and then people are so arrogant. They don't want you. They care less. Here comes some more of these guys. I get these calls from about 30 guys a day, and you don't even hear a word I say. These self-indulge everything, and and they just babble bullshit. And I'll say, well, want to help the cause. Well, and then you say, well, I do all the dirty work. Why don't you send me 2, 3? They just want to catch the shirt tails. It's like artists who send me stuff and put my art up. People, activists say, oh, here, so I can get you a radio show. That's all they're doing. They're all just coattailing me. That's all. Dunford. I created Dana. Without me, there is no Dana Dunford as far as dang, he does great work. I like that guy. I really like that guy because he's the only one I got much. We need the keyboard activists, don't get me wrong. And we need the information out there. And there's been a lot of good ones, The keyboard activist called Blanch, she's been incredible from the beginning. The keyboard activist the greatest keyboard activist I've seen is, Jan Brooks, Miss Mookie the Clown. We need the keyboard activists, but those people have got the field, and they've handled it. They do magnificent work. Between just those two alone, I hooked them up. They live 5 miles alone. Jules on this radio show, the platform, we have those powerhouses that did this in the inception. They've got the field. Street Wars, we don't have shit. When I show up, I'll get a person or two, and I'll say, hey, you want to do a video? It's like when I'm in New York. I've had events in New York where I've had well over 100 people show up to my event. Say, you want to go on camera? Nope, no. You want to stand here? Nope, no. I'll say, well, so I travel around, everybody's got an agenda, don't they? I'm like, well, send me some money. Oh, So, I'm just going to keep battling on an individual basis. I got AML leukemia in my body. Yeah, I like it. This is the thing that's the most bizarre to me in the whole thing. People argued and argued, including Max Kaiser bet me. Max Kaiser bet me $10,000. I bet him the silver would go under 20 before it went over freaking 100. He was saying 200. Well, he won't pay. I mean, of course, you know, not legal. I mean, these people just right on YouTube. Everybody pull back. I turned 3,000 into 700,000. You know how many people I talked into buying Tesla at $8, $9, all over, everywhere. You know, you take a look what it's at. 5 years. Take a look at how much. I mean, I did a video right here on the day, right here in my yard, that gold was at 1,900. It says, short it, get out, buy Tesla at 15. At silver at 47. I'm like, short it. You know, and there's the YouTube videos right there. I made a lot of people a lot of money. Well, send me some of this. There's a young guy and his grandpa who made $3 million off me, and they'll tell you that willingly. So he'd comment once in a while, and I said, well, you know, you ought to send me, you know, 20, 30,000 at least, wouldn't you? You know, I mean, I'm the one to talk. I made you guys $1 million. Then they never comment again. I mean, people are sick. They're self-indulged, and then they'll coattail the fuck out of me. I'm so tired of it. I can't tell you how tired I am of the coattail fucking apparatus. I cannot tell you. You know, I got them radio shows. Half the fucking radio shows that are out there, I created these people. Half these fucking YouTube fucking sites, I created them. I mean, it's amazing to me what I've done. You know, and then they pull back. It's just like one of the radio shows is right here that I created. Oh, yeah, while you're doing your walk up the Central Coast, we'll call in once a week and have you on there. And, you know, and then we'll update. Oh, no, fuck that. You know, they think they're going to, you know, use me, force me up, become me. They think they're going to be the next Helen Caldecott. No, you're not. What I do, good luck. You can't do what I do, even if you wanted to. My path. I mean, this path that I've had, for instance, from birth. I mean, decades and decades of hard work. You know, my education. Oh, my God. Then they want to freaking... I've had actual people steal my identity, call our university, whatever. Yeah, you know, they don't know my path. They don't know shit about me, my education. They don't know shit. They don't know the path because this journey's hardcore. You know, and I do all the work. You can watch Allison in that thing. As soon as she saw me, why do you think I put that blue headband on? Because they know from back in the day, as soon as I put that on, I want them to make sure, oh, that's that guy. Oh, they know. As soon as they see me, they're like, oh, God. They know I have a big platform. They know I know the details, all of it, and they put their heads right down. They know I know I'm blowing their whole gig. They know I'm not powerful and activist. They know, because I don't fuck around. You know, and I'm nonviolent, but I'm articulate. And why do you think the trolls and rats go? Because they know where to go. You know, look at Dunford's work. You know, I'm the guy that got him in that boat, you know. I created that whole situation. Without me, that doesn't happen. Thank goodness it did happen. And Dunford's the shit, by the way. I love that guy. That guy's the shit because he's fucking fearless. And he's repetitive. Oh, hell yeah, beautifully repetitive, like a broken fucking record in a good way. He shows those pictures. This guy's got it down. Those graphics, I like his videos better now than ever. And, you know, his viewership's down 1,000%. So what? Who gives a fuck? I watch those videos now. Before I didn't watch them. I mean, his graphics are powerful. This fucking guy, and he just hammers, and he hammers, and he hammers. You know, he got on that boat. And he says, oh, it took pictures? You fucking right, he took pictures, and he documented it. I mean, his work's going to stand in history. You know, and like I said, if it wasn't for me, that never happened. If it was not for me, that never happens. Kevin Appleseed. You know, hey, there's a dumb guy, Kevin. Should I buy the boat? You know, Saturday, you know, should I think? Well, let's talk about it. What's his plan? You know? Well, what's his background? You know, where's he going? What's he going to do? And I'm like, hell yes, let's do it. You know, it's supposed to have post-ignorance painted on the boat. Look at the attacks that fucking guy under. He's fucking right. I mean, why do you think they go after us like they go after us? You know, I'm so proud of his fucking work. Jan, Miss Milky the Clown, her early fucking work and all her work. Her mixing, I'm fucking so proud of her and her work. Rat Chick, I'm so proud of her fucking work. You know, so many of these people, I'm so fucking proud of their fucking work. I can't tell you, you know. But I'm an artist, street activist, you know. Avant-garde, you know, look, I knew. I've been in this fight forever and ever, and I knew it was time to take San Onofre and Diablo down. I've been fucking, you know, where are you going to be when this whole dynamic falls out? It blows me away. I was in Skid Row when I found out. And it was my whistleblower from New York who's supposedly going to do a whistleblower on Indian Point, because I'm taking those motherfuckers down next. And like I said, any point, I'm going to tee those fuckers up like they never been teed up. Oh, I got them. I got it because I got truth on my side. I got this YouTube, and I got my long, long path. And people can try their fucking shit on me, whatever. They can do whatever. And I got to tell you, everybody who's funded mine gig, as far as sent me money, you know, I can't say without them, this doesn't happen. This is a little small time. It's an army. And it's a small army. And I can't tell you how small it is and how coward America is. America's a home of fucking cowards. And these fuckers have all been played, and you've ever been fucking played, you know, and you go home to your FEMA camp and pay your fucking mortgage on it because you've been fucking had. Not me. Not me. So I knew it was time, and I says, nobody believed it. We fucking get fucking serious. I says, I'm going to use a different tactic. I'm not going to play softball. You know, I was at the hearing, you know, Gene Stone had a heart attack. 2 of them. He was there. You know, he knows my path. He's in, you know, you can't make it up. I'm sitting on the beach at San Onofre. You know, Peter goes up into Orange County, gets the free paper, and I'm reading through the free paper, and that's how I found out Gene had a heart attack, my friend. I'm reading it's in the free paper. Gene Stone's had a heart attack. You know, he takes on that activism too. You know, a lot of the activists, no, they'll make your stomach sick right now. They're not ripe. Let them get ripe. And so, I mean, so many of the activists have fought at Diablo. You know, Linda's still there. You know, Jane, but so many of these great activists have passed. You know, I was in Skid Row when I found out. I mean, you can't not make it up. Right in the heart of Skid Row. Everybody says, oh, you just what? No, I didn't. I talked to people. My activism is deep. I'm the foot washer. Oh, I do the freaking work. You know, I live with, I mean, I look back this 5 years, live like I live, you know, in pure poverty. But that's the way it had to be. It had to fucking be. You know, in my past, somebody says, well, you do this. These people can't get it through. I said, don't you get it? I have to be this way. It has to be organic. You know, and the great activists that understand the globalization in Europe, you know, they get it. They're like, they're watching. And I mean, they had a lot of history to watch this thing unfold. They're watching, and they know this experimental place, the Great American Experiment, a horrible failure. Now we're poison. This place is fucking poison. You know, how can you not fucking be freaked out walking across and the tide pools are all fucking dead? And nobody ever like, oh, they did it. Okay, fuckhead. How about I'll just go walk the entire coast? Who can do that? Who would do that? Come from Utah, fly back and forth from a bone marrow transplant, and document it, which I did it. Sleeping on beaches, fucking, I mean, you wouldn't believe something. So I documented because you're, oh, no, it ain't dead. Oh, yeah. Oh, the sea lions I shot. Oh, let me show you. Oh, yeah. Oh, the fuck is it? I've done all this fucking work. And I'm a fool to do your dirt. Who's the fucking fool? Who's the fucking fool? Every fucking nook and wannabe fucking rat tried to tee me up. Every letter I look back on it. I can't believe fucking, it's a setup. They try to manufacture fucking taking me apart. The friendship baby. I mean, I got a fucking shirt with a guy hanging on it who claims he was on my team. I look back and then all of a sudden a year ago they just say, oh, fuck you, and they all turn. You know, because it was time. It was time. Wasn't that the plan? Wasn't that the plan? Bait Kevin. You know, send him a fucking art. Send me this. Try to co-op his movement, then fucking steal his show hole, and then just fucking stomp him while he's in Europe. You know, I got a copyright fucking claim against my entire fucking studio. I won it by myself. You know what I was up against? Chased out of the World Health Organization. Chased out of Geneva. You can't make it up. Completely chased out of fucking the entire city. You know, on my own. Don't even know where the fuck I'm at. Don't even know where I'm going to sleep the next fucking night. You know, fuck. It's so fucking over the top. Here, stay in this hotel. Take full of critical. I look back. Here, I booked you this flight. It goes 4 different fucking stops. And they know I'm in critical condition. They're full looking. Over here, beep, beep. 3 hour later, beep, beep, beep. There, that. Then the whole setup in Canada. You know, here we got a fucking $500,000 here. We got to sit here wait. You just got to show up. We're going to give you a check for $500,000. So you spend the money on turns, whatever. Just total setup. I told them up there the second I got out. I told the other activists I was up there with. I says, I've been had, but good luck to you motherfuckers. You know, good luck. Stay in tune.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. One day,